What happens when a professional hitman is hired to eliminate a charming con artist, but can't bring himself to pull the trigger? Victor lives a lonely, regimented life. His domineering mother, Louisa, reviews his work and reminds him the family business must continue. She gifts him a scrapbook of every job he has ever done, with blank pages waiting for more. He also receives a parrot named Roger. But Louisa has one real worry. Victor still has no son to carry on the family trade. Meanwhile, a con artist named Rose is busy swindling a wealthy art collector named Ferguson. Rose has a forged Rembrandt and the original, freshly painted. She gives Ferguson the fake and keeps the real one for herself. Ferguson is outraged when he realizes the painting is a forgery. He decides Rose has to go. Ferguson hires Victor to eliminate Rose. The contract is set. Victor tracks Rose to a hotel bar. He watches her flirt and chat with a man, waiting for the right moment. He follows her upstairs, but when the moment comes to strike, he hesitates. He cannot do it. Victor's mother finds out he failed. She tells him his reputation is in tatters, and the client will hire someone else. Her advice is simple: apologize to the client, do the job for free, and return the money. But before Victor can try again, another hitman named Barney arrives to finish the job. Victor shoots Barney to save Rose's life. Rose, stunned, realizes someone wants her dead. Victor grabs her and orders her into the car. But a young car cleaner named Tony stumbles onto the scene and picks up Barney's dropped gun. Tony panics and accidentally fires, wounding Victor. Victor realizes the boy has seen everything. Rose wants to get rid of Tony. Victor says the police cannot protect them from people like Ferguson. Rose begs Victor for protection. She offers him £30,000 a week to be her bodyguard. Victor refuses. He insists he is in no position to protect her. But Rose calls him wise and calm, like a mighty ancient oak. The flattery works. Victor reluctantly agrees. He drives Rose away, and Tony tags along, refusing to be left behind. Rose asks Victor what kind of work requires a gun. He claims to be an undercover private detective. She insists on round-the-clock protection. Victor says he is too expensive, but Rose has plenty of stolen cash. They check into a luxury hotel, reasoning no one will look for them there. But Rose refuses to pay for separate rooms. She insists on one room for proper protection. The three of them cram into a tiny room. Victor lays down strict rules about respect and decorum. Rose mocks his uptight nature. Victor reminds her she was begging for help just hours ago. Meanwhile, Victor offers Tony a role as his apprentice, teaching him weapons skills and untraceable poisons. Later, Rose apologizes to Victor for being hostile. She admits she is not usually so abrasive. She asks if Victor fancies her. He denies it, but his composure cracks. Back at Ferguson's headquarters, his assistant Mike is panicking. Ferguson is furious that Victor failed. Ferguson knows Rose has gone to ground. He decides to bring in a rival to finish the job. Victor decides to take shifts on watch, but Tony falls asleep, leaving Victor alone to protect Rose. Ferguson meets with a new hitman, Dixon, a sadistic rival who relishes the chance to take Victor down. Dixon is told to eliminate both Victor and Rose. He is amused that the great Victor Maynard has gone soft. Dixon identifies Victor from a description. He knows Victor's reputation as the ultimate killing machine. The next morning, Rose wants a moment of peace away from Victor's constant watch. But Victor bursts in on her, still on edge. She startles him, and he nearly reacts on instinct. Now watch how Rose handles a hitman in a bathtub.
Accident! You frightened me! Try and find your ear, put it on some ice and...
Okay, that escalated fast. She accidentally shoots Victor's ear off. Victor's wound is messy but minor. He tells her to put the ear on ice and get to a hospital later. But Dixon's men arrive at the hotel. The trio has to run again. Dixon's men are right behind them. The chase is on. Victor has to swap seats with Tony while the car is moving. It is awkward and chaotic. Somehow they lose their pursuers. Victor decides they need to leave town entirely. He takes them to his country home, a remote, sterile old house filled with plastic-covered furniture. Rose hates it. She says it is like a hospital. She cannot breathe there. On the drive, Tony asks Victor about the job. Victor offers him a formal apprenticeship. He outlines a 6-week training program in weapons, explosives, and strangulation techniques. Tony eagerly accepts. Victor reveals his real name, Victor Maynard, for the first time. She teases Victor about his lonely, sterile life. He reveals the house belonged to his father and grandfather. Victor's mother lived with him until recently. Rose asks if they are close. Victor deflects. Rose discovers Victor's mother's room, still preserved with plastic covers on everything. Victor lays down strict security rules. No contact with the outside. No phone calls. No mobiles. Rose asks how long before the trouble blows over. Victor tells her it never will. At 2:45 a.m., Rose is rearranging her bed to face south, claiming it helps her insomnia. She barges into Victor's room, demanding help. He is exasperated but compliant. Meanwhile, Dixon is briefing his team. He says Rose is the real target. Tony is a nobody, but Victor's perfect record is already crumbling. Rose is changing him. The next morning, Rose is digging holes in Victor's garden, claiming she wants to plant magnolias for him. Victor is furious. He orders her to fill the holes back in. She refuses. She tells him his house is horrible and sterile. She says she is frightened of becoming like him.
Monetizing your movie content has never been easier. Upload your video, get a full recap and 10 shorts. Viralcade, link in the comments.
She says he is afraid of everything, afraid of admitting who he is and what he wants. Victor is shaken. Her words hit closer to home than he wants to admit. Later, Tony visits Victor in the bath. He says he has been distracted and confused lately. Tony quickly backpedals, saying the idea is absurd. He retreats to graft his bonsai tree. Meanwhile, Dixon is tracking down the forger who made the fake Rembrandt. He threatens an art expert for names. The expert gives him Jerry Bailey, who works at the National Gallery. Dixon gets the information he needs, using his own brutal methods. Back at the house, Rose visits Victor's room to apologize for her harsh words. She says her jaw is hurting from an extra tooth. She asks for sleeping pills. Victor has none, but he offers to massage her feet using acupressure. He admits he sometimes massages his own feet for anxiety. Rose is charmed. Victor admits he enjoys doing it. The moment is intimate and tender. Rose asks if she can have her other foot massaged. Victor agrees, but the peaceful moment is shattered. Rose screams. Tony screams. Victor's mother has arrived, and she is furious. She comes at Rose with a knife. Rose barely escapes. She locks herself in a room, screaming for help. Victor confronts his mother. She fires a shot through the door, barely missing him. Louisa is deeply disappointed. She tells Victor his reputation is in tatters. She insists he kill Rose. Until he does, he is the target. She gave him a beretta for his 7th birthday. She says he has become his father's son. Victor quietly disagrees. He wonders what he has actually become. Later, Rose tells Tony that Victor saved her life again. She says she has something to live for now. She is in love. Tony asks who. She says Mr. Maynard, of course. Tony is surprised but supportive. Rose says she never wants to leave now. She imagines the three of them as one big happy family. The idea is absurd, but she means it. The next morning, Victor and Tony have a quiet conversation about Louisa. Tony says he had a cousin who was mad, and he adored him. Family is family. Dixon interrogates Jerry, demanding to know who painted the forgery. Jerry nervously gives up Rose's name. Dixon now has his target. Back at the house, Rose surprises Victor with a birthday cake. She has learned the date from photos in his old room. Victor is genuinely touched. No one has celebrated his birthday in years. He blows out the candles, accidentally smashing the mirror with the champagne cork. The three of them celebrate together. For the first time, Victor feels something like happiness. But the next morning, Victor finds a gun hidden in his father's old room. It is a gift from his father, inscribed for his first hit. Victor stares at it, conflicted. She has been tied up. Tony and Victor are in on something together. Rose asks what is happening. Victor tells her to turn around. She refuses. Now watch how Victor handles the moment of truth.
Color.
Victor leads Rose downstairs with her eyes closed. He has a surprise for her. He has redecorated a room with bright colors, trying to make the house less sterile for her. But Rose is not charmed. She finds his father's gun and realizes the truth. She points the gun at Victor. She says he is not a private detective. He is a hitman hired to kill her. Victor admits it is true. He confesses everything. Rose is devastated. She calls them both terrible people. She says they are made for each other. Rose grabs her bag and drives off alone. Victor and Tony are left standing in the driveway. Victor tells him the truth. Tony asks if Victor will kill him now. Victor says of course not, but Victor warns Tony that if Rose leaves, someone else will be sent to finish her. He knows Dixon will be at the top of the list. He calls Dixon a sadist and an animal. Tony looks at Victor and says they will get him together. Dixon and his men track down Jerry Bailey again, looking for more information. Dixon threatens Jerry, demanding to know where Victor is hiding Rose. Jerry does not know. Dixon prepares to torture him for the answer. He teaches her to shoot, walking her through the steps. Feet, hand, wrist, breath. Rose is surprisingly good. Victor is impressed. He tells her people train for years to do what she just did, but their training is interrupted. Dixon and his men arrive. Dixon orders Victor to put his guns down. Victor complies slowly. Dixon confronts Victor. He taunts him about his failed career and his softness. He orders Victor to kill Rose. If he does, Dixon will spare Tony. Victor refuses. He cannot do it. Dixon threatens to kill all three of them. He demands Victor do the job he was hired for. Victor looks at Rose. She looks back at him. The tension is unbearable. Victor whispers to Rose in French. He tells her he loves her. Louisa confronts Dixon. She tells Victor she still has to do his homework for him. She picks up a gun and aims it at Dixon. She tells Victor that Tony could be trained, but will never have the killer instinct. Victor says he does not believe in the killer instinct. He believes in nurture over nature. Louisa is grateful to him today. She is about to finish Dixon, but Dixon grabs Victor's father's gun. He aims it at Victor, ready to fire. He tells Victor that the gun belonged to his father. He hopes that thought softens the blow, but the gun explodes in Dixon's hand. Victor knew it was faulty. He never cleaned it properly. Dixon is taken down. The threat is finally over. In the final scene, Rose calls out for the cat. The three of them are together, safe, and something like a family.